You're probably wondering why I'm so
Something
close.
went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
But mainly it's because I told the GoPro like 27 times to start a video and it didn't, so I got closer. But so you're probably wondering why I've called you all here today. Basically, like, I had come to use the restroom, which in our home is the place where we also house the cat's restroom. And whilst I was in there, I thought I should take a minute before I go out to clean the cat box out. And then I thought to myself that I actually like enjoy cleaning the cat box out. Like, I don't want to always feel like I'm the only one cleaning the cat box out, but I sometimes feel that the cat box is a bit like a Zen garden. I mean, really. So anyway, I was sitting there thinking of like why it could be something that for me is just this thing I do that's, you know, almost therapeutic, when to like my kids, they're like, oh, heck no. They can't wrap their minds around why, you know, how they could get through it any better. So then I thought to myself, why is it not that bad for me? And it made me think about mindfulness. And I know we are like mindfulness is something that people talk about. People talk about like being mindful when you're doing something. And, you know, the example that always comes to my mind is the doing laundry. Like, you know, when you're doing laundry, feel the clothes. How do they feel? Smell them. How do they smell? Like all those other things. And we hear about that. And I feel like I've been hearing about that most of my life. But today, I really have been giving some thought to how when you give more thought to being in the moment, you can find ways to enjoy it. And then I thought, no one has ever been able to describe mindfulness to me before. So I thought, what if I recorded myself doing a thing that most people hate and kind of explained what happens when you go into it wanting to enjoy it, because it is obviously a very functional part of having cats. And it's a pretty great thing. I mean, they're mostly self-sufficient in using the restroom and you not having to worry about it. So anyway, so the first thing for me is that this guy here, Plankton, I actually made him for when I was in my office. Actually, I got this board from when I was in my office, like my very first massage office, and I didn't have a bench or a stool. And so I would have to, my pants. So I would have to get down on the floor to be able to get some of the areas that I would get during a massage. So I had this mat thing that I got, and then I eventually, actually fairly quickly, got a stool, and I didn't need it anymore, so I didn't use it for forever. And then I thought about it. It stayed in the office for a long time, and I thought I could use it to do planks, because one of the reasons why I don't do planks is that it's uncomfortable. But this thing is like solid foam. It's nice. So then I drew Plankton on it. Of why specifically. It's no specific homage to anything. But there you have it. But the thing about that is, for one, like, I'm not asking people to be like super uncomfortable down here hunched over the cat box the whole time. I'm saying figure out how to make it not so uncomfortable. So for me, I don't mind getting down here because, you know, I have Plankton. I can situate myself and feel fine. So, I mean, the Zen garden effect, that's just real life, you know. There's poop and other matter. A thing that I feel gets brought to my attention a lot is that people do not like to talk about poop or really any bodily function. I don't know why. For me, it's blood. I don't like to talk about blood and guts, but that makes sense, at least to me. But the idea of not being able to like talk about the fact that we poop and fart, all of us, and sometimes it's terrible, and okay, it's terrible, and then it goes away. But how awkward is it for the person who lets one go and smells bad, and then everybody in the room freaks out like they don't also do it? Like, if we could all just roll with it and be like, no. Call it what it is. It's not great. Let it go. That's it. And basically, this is what mindfulness is. People talk about my rabbit holes. And rabbit holes are when I have one thought that leads me to another thought that leads me to another thought. Well, I'll tell you, that's mindfulness. That, in my understanding of myself and my understanding of the word mindfulness, that is what it's about. It's about being able to roll with the entirety of the situation. And whether it's a smell that reminds you of something, or whether it's a texture or a thing, something, you find that thing that is good, and that's kind of where your mind goes. So like the Zen garden thing. I once told a friend of mine, because we do have cats, 2 of them, and they're lovely, Maxwell Summer and Charles Christmas. And the camera is actually set up right now on the cat's tree in the bathroom, because they still go in here at night, because otherwise they will tear up our floor. But we try to make it pretty cushy in here. So Maxwell Summer and Charles Christmas is elsewhere. A friend of mine, I was saying, hey, we should do something, and this thing would happen at my house, and she was like, well, you have cats, so maybe not. And I thought about how there have been a couple different people who have said that they are very allergic to cats, but have given themselves, to coming in. And when they've been here, we've not seen any serious adverse effects. Personally, I feel like that comes down to the fact that I also love vacuuming. And this is the rabbit hole. This is what mindfulness actually is. Being in the moment to think about whatever is there. That is all you have to care about. Now, that doesn't mean neglect your other things. Those other things, they will come back on their own naturally. So, for instance, if I've got a thing that I'm worried about because later today I don't know how I'm going to do a thing, I can technically be worried about that, but really I can't do anything about that thing until later, whenever it's supposed to happen. Now, right now, I have to think about the cat box. So I'm being mindful of the cat box. That makes me, get the stuff together to where I feel comfortable and the cat box feels comfortable. So, back up the rabbit hole to vacuuming. I was telling my friend that I feel one of the reasons why a lot of people can come to our house, even if they consider themselves to be allergic to cats, it's because I take great care to vacuum our carpet. It's like another Zen garden. It's like I just imagine all these tufts of the carpet that are laid down and, matted together just from being walked on. Not even because they're worn out, but just they've been walked on. And in my experience, sometimes some kids, they vacuum just to say that they vacuumed and turn it on and go over a couple of places. And, for me, like, if I am in a hurry and cleaning up because there are people coming and I want to present them, without the food or something that got left there on the floor, then I will go and get the vacuum and I'll go just in that spot. But when I take the time to vacuum for the sake of freshening up our house and keeping our house as healthy as it can be by not having the stuff in the carpets that really is, there's no way around it. Reality, it's dead skin cells, it's germs, it's all kinds of stuff that moves about when we open the doors, when we bring it in on our bodies. It's all over the carpet. So even in places where you don't typically walk, maybe you don't need to vacuum it every single day or even every week. But every so often, when it feels like it, just go with that, vacuum that part, and know that those fibers have all kinds of stuff in them. And the best way to keep them at their optimal self is to keep it clean. So that's also why I mindfully enjoy cleaning the cat box, is that I enjoy having people in my home, and I don't ever want someone to not be able to be here because I have cats. I also don't want to get rid of my cats. I love them dearly. And I can't say that, someone with anaphylactic allergy to cats should just come to my house, but I at least feel good knowing that that average allergy that is, what we all get when we're exposed to something that we're not used to, that initial reaction that some people do get, I don't want them to get that at my house. And so that's a thing. I mean, like I think my kids in particular are at a place where they cannot always see my vision for why I want something to be as clean as I want it to be. But really, it just comes down to the fact that that is going to make that thing last, It's going to make the very best of that thing. Like, we want our cats to be everybody's favorite cats, really, because they're our favorite cats. And we have other favorite cats too, but like, they're our favorite cats. And so I don't ever want a stinky bathroom because of their cat box to be a reason why someone doesn't feel welcome. I don't ever want them pooping in my shoes because they don't know how much their humans love them. Like, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't know who would debate me, or if there's like a vet or a activist out there. We can often go away for like 3, 4, I think 5 we may have done once, but I feel like someone came by in the middle. But generally speaking, we can go like a weekend trip, and we have a big litter box with good quality litter. We have more than ample food. It's like a feast, and water. And we also have like an Alexa, which allows us to open the video up, and not all the time can you get them to come to it, but sometimes. So we verify they're alive and they're doing well. But overall, keeping their box clean, I feel, makes it so that they don't ever crap in my shoes just because I left so much crap in the place where they should have been crapping otherwise. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been told. If you don't do it, that's when your animals tend to get mad and go off. So, I mean, really, who knows if you got anything out of what I just said, but those are all the things that came to my mind right now. They're, partially goofy, partially just quirky, all kinds of elements to what goes through my head. But that is being mindful. That is being aware of the little stuff. That is